We are live now.
Okay, should I start?
Yes, dear.
Thank you so much. Let me just, first of all, I would like to say thank you so much for this opportunity, Dr. Inga, for making it available on live and also giving me opportunity to come and speak. Thank you so much. Come and share my inspiration nugget of wisdom. So now let's dive into our PowerPoint. Yes, I want to welcome all our great learners this morning. This is Dr. Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu from United Kingdom. I'm here for the next 3 days. I'm here for the next 3 days to share with you on Relationship Matters series, because relationship is very important in our lives. But before I do that, this is my information. This is the books that I have written so far, and they are all available at amazon.com or .co. Okay, so before I move on, let me express my gratitude to the founder and president of International Internship University, Sir Piyush Pandit, and co-founders and vice-chancellors and all the board members, ambassadors, and distinguished administrators and general secretary. And also, I want to seize this opportunity to welcome all our learners, our change makers, and our students, whatever you can name yourself, or you are all welcome. And I appreciate your valuable time to sit down and relax and to enjoy my inspirational nugget of wisdom. I also want to seize this opportunity to say thank you for trusting in me to share on this platform. This platform is International Intensive University Platform. An International Intensive University, IIU, is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide, well reputed in delivering innovative programs globally. It is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents, which happens to be some of them from Africa, from Asia, from USA, and also Europe, under the strong leadership of a great visionary founder, Sir Piyush Pandit, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education, or let me put it this way, providing free education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. So let's move on. Our topic for this morning will be communication in love and relationship. You will agree with me that this is very, very important in terms of building our personal relationship, building our self-esteem, and communicating and relating with one another. So the moment of truth is love and relationship. Let me just quickly share a few things about that. Okay, so what is love? Because here we're talking about love and relationship because they work in hand. Love is greatest, but You cannot practice love without relationship. So relationship is the platform for you to express your love or to demonstrate your love from one another. So what is love? Love is a profoundly tender, passionate affection to one another's person, affectionate concern for the well-being of others, the love of one's neighbor. In addition, loving others also allows you to open yourself up to one another and discover your inner capacity for pure, unconditional love. Let me start with this statement that God is love, and everyone on earth has been challenged or has been instructed to love one another. But without love of God and love of yourself, it can be difficult for you to love one another. That is why the commandments, the greatest commandments in the Bible says, love your neighbors as yourself. So when you love your God of the universe, the one you serve, the one you believe, and then you love yourself, then it is possible and it is easier to love one another. Why love is important? Scientific studies have shown us that being in love causes our body to release feel-good hormone and neurological chemical that triggers specific positive reactions. Our level of dopamine, adrenaline, and non-endorphin increase when people are in love. In conclusion, love is powerful, great, meaningful, becoming warm after being cold. The pleasure, the enjoyment of sharing ideas together are very important because a tree can never make a forest. And that is why we are starting this series, this topic today on love, communication in love and relationship. Let me also express to you that love is the greatest and it's everything to life. We need to continue to learn and get better for life. We need to also continue to learn and get better transformation. Love empowers, and one of the ways to empower ourselves and others is to raise the banner of love. It shows better way to live happily, peacefully, and unite together, stand together, and make a change in this world, starting from individuals, families, society, communication, community, and the world. So as they said, charity begins at home and from home to the world. So the only way to live happily, peacefully, and harmony with one another in this world is for everyone to admit it that we are all different. We are all not perfect, and we are all human beings that can make mistakes. We are all have the ability to choose our tradition, religion, way to serve God, the universe, and culture, and still respect one another. We are all have the ability to choose. Better understanding brings peace and unity and love. Let me also say this, that as we continue with this topic of communication, better understanding brings peace and unity and love in our society, in our family, and even in this world. So the question is, are we really ready to learn from our mistakes and willing to change and make a change? Because that is why IIU has organized this program for us to come together, learn together, and make a change. Learn from our mistakes, because we've all made the mistakes, including me. We've made mistakes in life. So when we come together and share our opinions together, then we can improve and get better. Because it takes two to work it out in relationship. Sometimes we might need to accept we are wrong and we have problem and we need to seek for help. Sometimes we might need to humble ourselves and use the magic words of, I am sorry, I love you, thank you, and please, and to forgive one another and acknowledge one another and celebrate one another. But sometimes we need to focus more on other person's strengths more than weaknesses. Stop throwing blames, focusing on our weaknesses, and stop condemning, but celebrate what we have and who we are. So that is the moment of the truth. So let's go on in our next, let's go on to our next slides. So now that I've shared with you about love and why is it important that we start our lesson today on what is love and the importance of love, because that is the basic, that is the background of whatever we are doing. So let's move on. So let me give you quickly the acronym of love, LOVE. The first one is learn, L for learn. In order to learn, to listen, to learn, to improve ourselves, we need to learn. To get ourselves better, we need to learn. To improve our relationship, we need to learn. So learn is the word letter for L. And then we need to observe ourselves and observe others, especially in relationship. Observe the other person's body language. So we need to be more sensitive and be more mindful. Then whenever the other person is speaking, you need to verify it, clarify the information. How do you do that? By asking questions. Firstly, you need to listen. When you listen attentively, and if you don't get what the other person is saying, then you need to clarify it. You need to ask questions so that you can get a better information. Empathize. Keep your heart open at all times. When 2 or 3 people are gathered together to want to communicate with one another, be willing to want to receive. Be ready to want to receive and open up at all times for you to receive the information. Very important. So by the way, the question I want to ask before I move out from this love is, are you still in love presently? Are you still in relationship presently? So the great question, this is the biggest problem in our relationship and one that's hardest to overcome. Falling in love is easy. Staying in love isn't. Maintaining a relationship isn't. But when you start the journey and then you are willing to learn to better yourself, then it will make it better. Remember, no one is perfect, and no one is perfect. Always remember that. Okay, so let's move on to this. Like I said, no one is perfect. So love is a delicate balance between dependency and passion. How much do you need your partner? How much do you need this relationship? How much you need to ask yourself. How much do you love and want your relationship to get better? Or want your partner and your relationship to last? How much and how long? So let's move on. Before I move on, let me quickly say this. Everything in life requires hard work, dedication, commitment, sacrifice, investment, honesty, and integrity, and above all, gratitude. So let's move on. Ingredients of love. We have the communication or communicating with one another, commitment, connecting, because you need to connect whenever you are communicating with one another. Determination. You have to determine that this have to work. Your relationship needs to work. Your love needs to be great. It needs to improve. Discipline. There are various ways we can discipline ourselves. Dedication, devotion, understanding of love. Need to read more. Know the difference. Do you know that we have different kinds of love? Well, you need to read some books. I have a book I've written on what went wrong with love, or what we lost in love. So if you can get the copy, that would be great for you. And you'll be able to know the differences between, the differences or the kinds of love. Effective communication is part of the ingredients of love. Be honest to yourself and be honest to what you are saying. Integrity is very important. Decision making as well. You need to be mindful of some things. You have to have a critical thinking, and above all, open up to your mindset of growing it and refreshing it and renewing your mindset. That will help you a lot in your decision making. Determination, I've said it before, discipline our mind, our soul, and our body. Be open to one another and be ready to forgive. Okay, so we are going to talk about different kinds of relationship. We have family relationships, friendly relationship, romantic relationship, professional relationship, pet relationship, of course, interracial relationship, and toxic relationship. But the last one might be some other time. I'm going to talk about it. So let me go back to the moment of truth about relationship. Okay, so what am I doing? Let me see what I've done. Okay. Right, okay. So let me also go back to this about relationship. So there are different kinds of relationship. We talk about family relationship. Family relationship involve people to whom you are related in some ways or the other. They usually include people whom you live with in your household, your immediate family, and your distant relatives as much. You share a strong bond with your mother, your father, your siblings. Further, you are linked to your uncles and aunts and cousins, grandparents, and other distant family relations. The bond that you share with your family plays a major role on your overall being. While some people are closely attached to their relations, others prefer to maintain distance from the same members. As such, this affects a person in numerous ways. So that is family relationship. Then we have the friendly relationship. Relationship that we share with our friends, our peers, fellow workers, other acquaintances are termed as friendly relationship. Next to our family, these friendly people play a major role in directing our lives towards a correct or wrong track. Further, the types of bonding we maintain with our association and friends draft us into the person we are today. That is why sometimes when I was talking about mindset, I made mention of something. I said, your network will determine your net worth. And the association you belong to will determine the journey you are going ahead of or what you are going to become and achieve. So it's very important. So the type of bonding we maintain with our associates and friends that drives us into the person we are. Though many people depend on this relationship for taking important decisions of our lives, each of us is affected by them in some ways. Okay. Then we talk about romantic relationship. A romantic relationship is the most beautiful and rewarding yet complex relation that one can indulge in. When people say boyfriends, girlfriends, spouse, are the people who shares such relationships. These relationships are filled up with lots of love, trust, and understanding, as these are the parameters that were responsible for the success and the failure of the same. Depending upon the relationship, the two partners can either build a healthy bond or end the relationship in a disaster. And that is why we are here to talk about one of the elements of love and relationship, which is communication. A healthy bond and end the relationship. So if we do not handle the ongoing challenges properly, like communication, then it could end up in disaster. It's very important that we understand this. The next one is professional relationships. People develop successful, productive, and satisfying relationship at their workplace and as well as with their colleagues. So colleagues, clients, senior, customers, subordinates are some people with whom this relationship are likely to trigger off. When we talk of relationship in our workplace, relationship with customers, relationship with our clients, like I work in the hospital, relationship with patients, relationship with doctors and nurses, they are all important. And some people with whom this relationship are likely to trigger off, they are important. So whether it is clearing an interview or increasing your chances of getting a promotion, or expanding your spiritual awareness on a personal level, or work relationship are all paramount important. It is very important, especially in life. So we need relationship, professional relationship. It could be relationship between the governments to governments. It could be the relationship between the associates, the partners, and even collaborators. Very important. So because if you do not meet the right people or build successful relations, you will not be able to accomplish your dreams and goals. Very, very important. And that is why we're talking about communication this afternoon or this morning. Apart from knowing these people, it is highly significant to create healthy networks for this continuous help and support. Then, of course, we have pet relationship. These days, owning a pet has become a necessity for almost every family. In fact, pets have become a part of our lives as the kind of relationship we share with them largely influences our well-being and happiness. You can find kids playing and snuggling with cats and dogs to find pleasure and pass their leisure time. For adults, this family pouch serve as companion, especially for disabled individuals and people with special needs. Pets bring a smile on the face of millions of traumatized and emotional challenged children and lonely senior citizens. That's not all. By caring for the emotional and physical needs of these furry friends, we continue or we contribute to a healthy real society. These are a few types of relationship that we human beings are involved with in our daily lives. And with some love, care, affection, commitment, better communication, these different relationships can make us happy and relaxed. Hang on a minute, before I go any further, let me add one more to it, which is very, very important. Ask me, which one is it? Interracial relationship, as the name suggests, means a relationship in which the partners belongs to different racial groups or backgrounds. I mean, as you can see, I have good relationship within, across, global. I have a good relationship with my partners, my working partners, my professional partners. I have good relationship with the youth, the children, the women, not within only the United Kingdom, but across the globe. So this is very important. But another thing that comes out of it is when someone marries from Africa, marry an Indian, or British marrying an African. You know, these are also called interracial relationship. For example, if a Native American gets involved with a person of Asian origin, the relationship will be termed as interracial. The trend of interracial relationship has been on the rise since past few years. However, even today, it is not much encouraged by people. Rather, many people in the world prefer to stay away from an interracial relationship or marriage, even in the contemporary world. Common interracial relationship, though interracial relationship and marriages have been noticed throughout the world, and we can see certain types of interracial couple on the rise. This includes Native Americans and Asian and white, Black and white, Asian and Black, Native American and white, and even African and white, or other way around. So I managed to gain this from lifestyle.IloveIndia.com if you want to know more about relationship. So let's get on with our slides again. Let's go back to our slides again as we talk about communication today. So let's move on. Now that we've been sharing about love and relationship, we need to move further on to say there are so many problems around love and relationship, but we're just going to mention 3. And that is number 1, ignorance and lack of understanding, lack of vision, then unknown of our identity, of who we are and our purpose. If we are going to improve our communication, there are still some certain things that we need to do. The first thing is ignorance and lack of understanding, as I said. We need to start developing an attitude of knowing more than what we've known. We need to start learning cross-culture, cross-tradition. We need to start learning the differences between husband and wife, male and female, children and parents, and others like that. We also need to start understanding the differences between love. I said something in my book. I said that what you don't know will kill you or affect your lives. I also said something. I said, when you don't understand what love is all about, then you will abuse it. So the same thing happens to what I'm talking about here. We're so ignorant, and we need to come out of that and start learning more about ourselves and about others. That is the only way we will now know how to communicate effectively. The second one is lack of vision. So many of us, we don't even dream. We don't have vision. We don't have mission. We just go on as usual. But if you have vision and you dream and you focus on it, then you will be able to do better. Do you ever dream of having a good relationship? Do you ever dream of living a happy life? That is the beginning of it. And then there are some steps that you need to take towards your dreams, towards your vision. And then the last one is unknown of our identity. We don't know who we are. The other day, we were all gathered together on this same platform of IIU. And that program was so unique. If you haven't joined, I think you need to join that. Who am I? That is the project. That is the campaign. We need to be knowing who we are, because that will give us the energy. That will give us the power. That will give us the ability to perform well in this society. That will also give us the ability to be able to communicate with one another. So you need to know who you are. And also you need to know your purpose on earth. Why are you on this world? Why are you who you are? Why are you here? What is your purpose? What is your assignment, your divine assignment? So it is very important that we know our identity, where we come from, who we are. Number one priority, number one, the truth is we are all created by God of the universe. And we are created by a purpose. But you need to find out who you are and your purpose and focus and start working towards it. Because if you know who you are and you know your purpose, then you start developing yourself and getting better, even in the areas of communicating with people. So it's very important that we know who we are. And that makes me to go further down to give you some hints on transformation for relationship. If you don't know who you are, then you cannot respect yourself. And you cannot present yourself well in the society. And you cannot perform well. So know who you are. Know your purpose. Some of us, we know our purpose that we want to fulfill in this world. We want to show kindness. We want to share love. We want to help one another and support ourselves. Then why are you doing what you are doing? Because if you don't know your why, in the process of your journey, in the ways of your journey and the process of what you are doing, you'll be frustrated. But when you know why you are in this world, you know your purpose, you know who you are, and why you are doing what you are doing right now, then things will get better. Then you can communicate your vision, your mission. You can write it down and share it to the world, to your friends, to your colleagues, so that they will know your journey. They will know where you are heading to. Your why is in the energy towards what you are doing. For example, you want to start a business. Why are you starting a business? You want to build a relationship. Why? You want to have a husband or you want to have a wife. Why? Why do you want to build that relationship? You need to know. Please don't say that because others are getting married, so you too want to marry. No. Please don't say that because you are old enough and some of your colleagues, your peers, they are married. No. Please don't say that everybody's doing it, so I also want to do it. No. You have to find out why you want to do what you want to do and why you are doing it. Then who am I assigned to? You need to know. Who are you assigned to? Who are you assigned to solve their problem? Who are you assigned? Who are your clients, your customers, your patients? Who are in your categories? Who are in your circle? Then who are you assigned to? Or who is assigned to you? Who is your mentor, your pastor, your leader, your teacher, even your parents, your teachers? So you need to know all this because no one can be an island. We are all working together. You cannot isolate yourself. And that is why relationship is very important that we are building. Communication is one of the key points of building relationship and maintaining it. Okay, enough of all our talking. Now let's dive into it. You will agree with me that we all one day, we were children before we became adults. That is the best way to start our communication skills today. You have children. It might not be your own children. It might be other people's, maybe neighbors, You have children around the world. You have yours, and you also have others. You have cousins, nieces, nephews. So it's not really necessary. Even children are students in primary school, lower school, higher school. They are all children. So that is why it's very important that we start from there. How to improve communication in our children. Because like we say, charity begins at home. Whatever you're doing right in your home will reflect what will happen outside there. If you train your children properly, then they'll be well behaved in the society. So how do we improve? Because we don't know it all. We are learning every day. Some of these things I'm learning too. In fact, I wish I've known all these things 30 years ago when I started raising my children up. But then it's not too late, because guess what? Very soon I'll be having grandchildren, and I'll be able to practice more on all this on them. So it's very important. So how do you improve communication? Spend time with your children. It's very important. Appreciate their uniqueness and their difference. Build the rapport with children. Read more about child development. Remember, I said one of our problems in this world is ignorance, lack of understanding. But then how do you break free from lack of understanding and ignorance? Read more. Read more about child development. If you want to communicate with a certain people, you need to know first about them. So read more. The same thing happens to partners. Read more. Understand the difference between a male and a child, a male and a female. Understand the reason between, just understand the way things are, because we are all different. So read more about child development. Teach them more value. I mean, you've got experience. Most of us are adults. We've got experience. We've made a lot of mistakes. And some of us learned from our mistakes. But then you need to pass it on to the next generation. Teach them moral values, how to treat others, how to respect others. But then, guess what? They observe us. They look at what we are doing. You can't tell somebody to respect a person, and then you are in the midst of criticizing or gossiping or putting people down. Because they watch and they listen. Know your own child. Because when you know them, then you'll be able to know how to communicate with them. Know your children. Even the twins that comes out in the same place, the twins, they are different. So all our children are different. So you need to know individual so that you will know how to communicate and they get it right. Observe. If you don't want to know your children, observe them, how they are doing things. If you're going to correct them, observe them first. See what they are doing. You know better than them. So you need to see them doing it. Let them be who they are. Observe the way they do things. Observe the way they communicate. And then you'll be able to come in and correct with love. Listen to them. That is the main thing that we all are lacking of in the whole world. We don't have time. We work and bring money home. We are so busy doing one thing or the other. So that even when they want to speak to us, we are not there. I know the danger part of it is that if you are not listening to your children, somebody out there will listen to them. Unfortunately, that person out there might be the wrong person they are listening to. In the terms of Google now, we have a computer where they spend a lot of time on it. So if you don't listen to them, you start see them chatting with unknown person on the computer, on their chat box. But when you're ready to listen to them and you are open to them, then they will come to you. And then you'll be able to improve your communication with them. And you'll be able to communicate precisely, accurately, and effectively. You also need to let them know that there will be criticism. So you need to teach them you will need to teach them how to handle criticism. Because in this world is full of negativity. People will criticize, people will condemn. So you need to get them ready. Use your own as an example to them. And teach them how to handle criticism. Lead them the way. Let our children that is coming from the place of love, so that when they go out there, they will feel being loved already from home. And what you give your child is what you will exhibit out there. If you give them love, they will spread love to others. So love and correct them in love. Involve our children in conversation. Very important when you are communicating. Don't be all the talking. You can ask them questions if that will make them to think. But always give room for them to involve in that conversation. Yes, we are older than them. Yes, we know more than them. Yes, we have experience more than them, and we have wisdom. But then, they are also human beings, and they can be full of ideas. And not only that, they want to feel belonging. So when you involve them, they will be happy that they have the opportunity to express themselves, that they have the opportunity that people can listen to them. Their parents are listening to them. Their teachers are listening to them. And then involve them in conversation, discussion. All the things we are talking about here, yes, it's good. But sometimes we also need to do it in our home, because charity begins from home. So involve them in conversation and use a specific word. That means mind our language when we are communicating with our children. Mind the way we speak to them. Mind the way. Their own language might be slightly different from ours. But mind the way you speak to them. Let's avoid judgmental. Let's avoid criticism. Even if you're going to criticize, say it in a way they will understand. So let's move on. Okay, so I just share with you quickly about how to improve communication with our children, which is very important because we need to start from there. But let's now move on to the main thing. There are two basic areas which seems to be critical in all relationships, expectations, and communication. But before we can dive into that, let me ask you a few questions. What do we expect from ourselves and the other person involved in the relationship? What do we expect? Then how do we communicate these expectations and our feelings and our opinions to the person in relationship? I want to see if my other audience, my great participants, I want to see your answers on these questions, because that's the way we can do it together. The first one is, what do we expect from ourselves and the other person involved in the relationship? So what do we expect? Because every one of us has expectation. Okay, thank you. Now the next one is, how do you communicate these expectations then? Our feelings, our opinions to the person in the relationship. How do we communicate it for others to see, for others to understand us? How do we do that? The next question is, how does our personalities type affect our expectations and methods of communication? Thank you for texting. Yes, I can see. Thank you so much. I just need you to involve in this conversation. Remember, my last words on children is involve our children in conversation. So now I'm throwing it to adults. Involve, let's involve in this conversation. So I want you to type. I'm going to repeat the questions again because it's very important. Because that is the basic area which seems to be critical in our relationship. Expectations and communication. So I'm asking you a question now. What do we expect? I mean, this is a personal question. Please share with us on the chat box. I'm waiting because I want us to learn from one another. How do we expect from ourselves and the other person involved in the relationship? And then how do we communicate this expectation? Our feelings, how do we communicate these expectations that we're expecting others, that we're relating with? So how do we communicate these expectations? Our feelings, because we need to do it regularly. The only way we can understand one another is when we communicate our expectations, so that they will know the boundary, so that they will know your stand, so that they will know what you believe, so that they will know your status. So how do you communicate this? It's very important that we all know. How does our personalities type affect our expectations and methods of communication? Who you are, again, your identity, your status. So how does it affect your expectation? Because people can see, apart from listening, apart from writing, they are observing. So they are seeing your style. They are seeing the way you are. And they can read from what you are saying and your reaction and your personalities. For example, like me, I'll make my example. I am a woman of positivity. So if people want to approach me, despite the fact that, yes, we are surrounded with negativity, but I would like to change every negativity to positive, because negativity will drag me back, but positivity will move me forward. So when people come and they can watch me saying, yes, you can do it in respect of your challenges, in respect of your adversity, in respect of your present situation, yes, you can achieve it. Yes, you can succeed it. That is me. That's my personality. And then to add it with a smile so that you are not afraid. You are not being threatened. So that's what we're talking about. So when people now move close, they know what they are expecting me to say. Even before I say it, they've already said it. Yes, you can. It is possible. There's no situation that is difficult that you cannot deal with. And no condition is permanent. So when you start saying that, they can read you. They can observe you. So that is why it is possible that our personality type can affect our expectation and the method of communication. The next thing is, does our personalities type affect who we are romantically attracted to? Oh, yes. It's very important, yes. Because nobody wants to approach somebody that is so moody. Nobody wants to be attracted with somebody that is full of negativity. Nobody. You can check it out. So they want to see the positive. They want to, probably they are in that situation where they want to come out of it. So they don't want to produce the same type of where they are. They want energy. They want love. They want assurance. So what you are saying, what you are talking about, what you are speaking, it attracts people coming to you. I've learned a lot of people saying to me that my Facebook page, even if they don't go to any other places, they are looking for a word of inspiration, a word of power, a word of encouragement. They know where to go. They've said it to me several times. They will just click the button of Elizabeth Lucas. And that place is full of positivity. I'm not denying it, that there's no negative or things are going smoothly. No, I'm not denying that. But the fact that the fact that if we concentrate on that, what you are going through, that negativity, that bad experience, when you focus on it, it will keep expanding. And you'll be stuck in that situation. But then if you have, if you can change it around and say, yes, this is the situation I'm facing now, but I have the power. Yes, I can control it. Yes, I can change my situation around. Yes, I can change my story. Yes, I can change even this negativity. I can change it around. Then you are empowered. You are inspired. So it's very important. I'm glad this question is also coming here. It will even attract the person that wants to say, I love you, or the person that wants to marry you. Because everybody is looking for happiness. Happiness dwells in each one of us. We just have to discover it. And when you discover it and exhibit it for people to see, then people will draw closer to you. So it's very important when we're talking about expectations and communication. And then the last question there is, how does it affect our friends and who we work with best? It does a lot. It does a lot. Because you'll be able to, when you're sharing, people are learning from you. Even your friends as well, they will know exactly when to come to you. If they're in a state where they know that they cannot control it, at least they will know that they have a friend that can inspire them. Not the friends that we put them down. It's also your personality. Sometimes if you are a negative person, you find yourself criticizing all the time. You find yourself being judgmental. You find yourself saying negative things. You find yourself spreading bad news. You find, but then nobody wants all that. It's enough in the world alone. Enough. Switch on the telly, bad news. Read newspaper, bad news. Go to the social media, bad news. So those have surrounded them already. And they're looking for ways to come out of it. So yes, it affects your own friends, your circle of friends. Remember, I said right from the beginning, your network will determine your net worth. Your association you belong to will determine the place you are, will determine your destination. Will determine how far, how well you want to achieve and succeed in life. Let's move forward. Then, like I said before, yes, you can communicate effectively. We are all learning. No one is perfect. So we need to think about the general points of how we can build rapport skills, how you can start a discussion, a conversation, how you can attract people, not impose, but impress, inspire, encourage. Everybody needs that in world. So when you start the conversation, it determines, you're starting the rapport will determine how people want to listen to you, how they will draw closer. You say hello, hi, how are you? That's beginning. I remember one of my mentees, and he always said it all the time. When I first met this guy, I just smiled, say, hello, how you doing? That is enough for him to be connected with me. And within a short period, things changed for him. I remember where I'm working presently as an admin. When I entered the hall, the ward, because I worked in one of the wards in the hospital, when I entered like this, they know I've entered. Because I would say, hello, how you doing? How's work? Some of them will say, oh no, they've been working since morning, they are tired. I say, okay, let's do some massage on you. Let's build the power up so that you can continue. So you need to build a rapport. Effective communicate is very important in relations. How can we improve? Yes, this is what we're talking about. There's no certain point. I mean, there are so many ways we can improve. Even how can parents communicate with their children? We just said it. I will tell you something later. I hope I'll be able to share it with you. That is also important. How does an argument start in relationship? I guess some of you will like to know. And then what are the better ways to discuss without arguments? Better ways. Because we are all learning better. Like I told you, if all what I know now, if I knew it 30 years ago, it could have been much, much better. But guess what? It's still not too late. We are learning every day and getting better. So we're going to talk about how to prevent all these arguments that lead to destruction. Yes, we can argue our case, but then we have to use the certain skills to do that in communication. let me also share this with you quickly. How do we communicate effectively then as we practice love? Remember, I said love is the greatest, but to practice love, you have to have a relationship. So how do we communicate effectively while practicing our love in relationship? Observe others individually, closely, and learn from them. Very important. Remember, I said right from the beginning, ignorance and lack of understanding sometimes lead us to destruction in relationship. But we can improve it. And that's what we are talking about it here. Observe others, learn from them. Observe the way they do things. Know them closely. And then you'll be able to know how to communicate with them, when to communicate with them, which language to use to communicate with them. But the first thing first, observe individual closely and learn from them. Build rapport and be human. Or build rapport and be humorous. We are human beings. Let's be real. You know? And appreciating and celebrating their uniqueness and differences. We are not equal. And we are different. That makes us to be unique. It's our differences that make us to be unique. So appreciate them and celebrate their uniqueness and differences. Avoid favoritism, comparison, and competition. If possible, avoid those words. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare your children. Don't compare your spouse. Loving and inspiring them regularly. And even if you're going to correct in love and in mildness. Very important. But always make sure you get the right time, the right language, and the right situation before you correct in love and in mildness. Because, for example, if you are correcting people while you yourself, you are angry, they will only see your emotions. They will not see what you are talking about. The same thing happens in the house. So if you're going to correct, make sure that your own emotions status is not at stake. Because while you are correcting, while you are speaking, they are watching you as well. So they can know the differences, but you are correcting them genuinely in love, or you are angry and you are still talking. And while you are correcting them when you are angry, they cannot learn because they've seen your action. It's like expressing your own emotions. Listening and respect their opinions. Sometimes we like to push our own opinions. We want to impose our standard, our strength. But we need to sometimes lay back a bit and listen and respect their opinions. You don't necessarily have to believe everything they say to you. But when you listen and allow them to express themselves, then they will be willing to want to learn from you. Watch our own action as we be a role model to others and be an example to them to follow. That way they will learn from what we do. Manage our emotions. Very important while we are communicating. We are their role models, and how we handle a matter in front of them matters. Let me say it again. How we handle a matter in front of others matters. And that is the only way people can listen and learn and be corrected. And we are also getting better. Because all these things, we need to practice it in order for us to be able to communicate effectively as we want to practice love. I think we've done this before, but we'll just go through it. How will your child know you are talking to them in place of love? Inspire. Open communication. Ask them friendly questions and wait for their response. Simply words like, I love you. Hug them. Children must feel that they are being heard and welcomed in the family. Build their self-esteem, their confidence, and empower them. Be an example to them because they watch us, they observe us. Two ways the children or any other person around us will learn from us what you say and what you do. They copy what we did. We did copy what we say. And they copy what you are doing. So be mindful of your actions. How will your child know you are talking to them in love? I think this is the continuation of what I just started. Respect them and their opinions. Choose the right words. Respect their individuals, their differences, their thoughts, and their feelings, because they also have feelings too. Every one of us have feelings. So let's be mindful, let's be sensitive. We need to be patient with them, either with your children or with your friends. We can repeat our words every time so that they can understand it, because it's what you understand that you take action. Remember, I said right from the beginning, lack of understanding. And then we watch our tone, our language. We need to calm before we correct anyone. And we correct in love and in mildness. Not to be judgmental. Be aware of our emotions as well. We are role model. We are inspiration. People watch us more than what we say. But then, constructive feedbacks and advice is very, very important, because we don't know it all. As a leader, as parents, as mentor, as coach, we don't know it all. So constructive feedbacks and even criticism, we can turn it around to make it advantage to us. We need to develop those skills and not to complain, but explain ourselves. We have a couple of minutes to go, and I'm just going to rush quickly with all these few points. How can we prevent arguing so much? Invite your partners to help you to both get the best out of the chat. Give your partner plenty of time. We can use the same principle on any relationship, by the way. So give your partner plenty of time to express him or herself. Avoid interrupting at all costs. Interrupting your partner or anyone you are speaking to is sure to lead to an argument, because you don't give them enough time to express themselves. Listen out for underlying emotional needs that haven't been met when you've been married or in a relationship sometime. It's all too easy to lose sight of the fact that you both need to have your essential emotional needs met in balance. So let's balance everything. Ask questions. Ask questions in a neutral tone of voice, not by raising your voice or shouting or making even the questions be complex, difficult to understand. Avoid making assumption. We assume a lot, but let's avoid that. Because sometimes all this assumption will lead to destruction. Because you assume that that person meant this way, or you assume that what people are saying is this way, and then you reacted in the wrong way. Remember, listening does not imply that you are agreeing. Not all the time, but it's very necessary that you listen. Repeat what you think you've heard in your own words. That is building your understanding skills. And then summarize to check, do you have understood as much as possible? And ask how the other's solution will. It's a matter of the same skills we can use for any relationship. Any relationship, you want to be heard. The other person also wants to be heard. They want to express their feelings. The other person also wants to express their feelings. So that is why it's very important. Let me quickly move on. How can we prevent arguing so much? Invite your pastor to help you to get there. I think we've said that. Listen out for that. We've said all this. Okay. Ask how the other person's solution will solve the problem without arguments. Yes, open questions. Just ask questions. Ask and ensure that the person allows you to do the same. Offer solutions that will prevent you arguing as a couple, as partners, as friends, as relatives. So what are the top secrets of overcoming flesh and lust? It's still part of communication, my dear. So communication, talk about it. If you know you are going through some trials and temptation, you can talk about it. You can share views together. You can express your feelings. Don't keep it to yourself. Because sometimes we keep those problems to ourselves until it escalates and we cannot control it anymore. So talk about it. Then commit to your love and relationship. Commitment is very important. Commitment will grow your relationship, will maintain your relationship. The control of 5 senses, your look, your ear, your speak, your touch, and your feelings. Very important that we have a good decision making and discipline ourselves. Above all, determined to make your relationship work. Determined to be a better person, not only for you, but for your family, for the society, and for the nation. No matter the situation, no matter the situation, no matter what you are going through, be determined. It takes courage to do something you know everyone won't love or appreciate, but still do it because yes, you can. It takes courage to keep going where people around you don't or can't understand, but keep moving because yes, you can. It takes courage to look them in the eye, everyone around you, and say what you think it is possible. They might not believe you, they might not listen to you, but keep talking and keep expressing yourself, knowing that all things are possible. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honorable, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there be any virtue And if there's any praise, think on these things and speak about it. Got that from Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 from the Bible, the greatest book in the world. Think about positivity. Think about what is going to add value to others. Encourage them, inspire them, and motivate them, because we all need that. So I want to say thank you so much for this wonderful day. So once again, I want to appreciate this opportunity to share, to teach, and to speak on relationship this time. And I look forward to continue tomorrow with another topic at the same time on this platform. So permit me once again to say thank you, Sir Piyush Pandit, the founder of and president of International Intensive University, the co-founders and the vice chancellors and all the board members, also ambassadors and distinguished administrators and general secretary. I also want to seize this opportunity to thank Dr. Inga for giving me this time and also for sacrificing her time to make sure that this teaching is happening today. I also want to express my gratitude to all our listeners, our participants, our change makers, those who want to make a change in this world, who has waited patiently for 1 hour, 30 minutes to listen and learn from me. Thank you, Professor Dr. Elizabeth Lucas Afolalu. Yes, you can.